Wasn't the result that the majority was expecting as far as the running of the Joe and Michael Lilsley free-for-all at Menangle tonight, but then again, didn't come as no surprise. Caught up with a very happy David Aiken, following the win of Max Delight. Well, David, congratulations. What a marvellous win by Max Delight.
Yeah, no, it was great, to beat a horse like Swayze, made it very special. It was a great, like a duel up the straight, pretty exciting race to watch.
It's one thing joining Swayze, it's another thing trying to get past him, and your Blake hit the line with intent.
Yeah, but he's always got that good speed off cover, and he's dangerous with any sort of, horses he race if he can get that right trip, and, probably Swayze's, probably like a really high speed. He just sort of, perfect drive by Will, pulled him out at the right time, not to, probably if they went up the track it would be further. Swayze's the type will kick back and beat you. So he had to sort of snipe him, sort of half up the straight, and he got the job done.
Yeah, that's one of Will's strengths these days, is his patience.
Yeah, and does his form good. It was a tricky draw from the three, and he got in behind him, which was, that was the winning move, and otherwise we would have been outside the leader and probably gone back to last, but or having to park outside him, which is impossible to sit outside Swayze. 29.5, 27.6, 27.3, 27.7 home. How was your feeling on the home turn? No, he's travelling good. I thought he'd get somewhere close by him, but when he went past him, it was great. He's just been a good old horse, and the last 12 months here, I think he's blossomed with this harder type racing, and the drives have been kind on him. He hasn't done any bullocking work. He's lasted all year, and hopefully we'll get another year out of him.
135 starts, Dave, 34 wins, 41 placings.
Yeah, just a great ride for myself and Maxwell family, and so hopefully we can, keep him going for the rest of the season. What's next? Don't know. Just I'll just wait and see. We'll don't know if we'll go to Brisbane for the end of this year. I've just got to talk to Mick and Dean what we're going to do there. So just free-for-alls here, and he's close to home, and just up, we just stabled up the hill, and so just keep ticking him over, and just see what's about for him.
A thrill to win the race, but to win a race named after Joe and Michael Lilsley, an added bonus.
Yeah, old Joe, what a legend. I only drove against him when I first started driving, but he just resurrected so many. He got a lot of broken down horses to train. He kept them sound, like the job he did with Double Agent, unbelievable. And then I raced against Michael a lot later on, and always great competitors. They had the horses super fit. They trained them on the beach, but just they're a good family. They're a big family, and just good people. And it's just an honour to win this race.
Two different characters as well.
Oh, Joe was we wouldn't have said a bad word about anyone, and I actually had a little stint. My first girlfriend lived up on the northern beaches, and I trained a horse at the Terry Hills, and I used to go to Bayview, and I was only there for a little while, but Joe was there every morning working his horses, and he was, to see him what he did was pretty cool, and he just a gentleman with it, and just and he asked for his advice, and he'd always give it, and just good people.
He ended up being a mentor as far as the beach training was concerned to a number of trainers at that time.
Well, Chris Gleeson, there's no better trainer at that era, and train winner after winner on the beach, and they learn it from Joe. There was other trainers there too that followed. It was very unique Bayview at the time. It was a little bit different where Chris was. They trained around the corner, but we used to have, there was a little hill there. They took that sand hill away when I went there, and Joe was sort of, he was sort of in full swing then, and some good horses, but he was a mentor because what he did was an art. He didn't have the facilities of normal people training on tracks and things like that, and he worked it out pretty good. Kept them sound, he had a lot of really good horses that were finished or broken down, and resurrected them.
You also had a very special occasion in Inter-Dominion as far as you and Michael were concerned.
Yeah, no, Michael, I've raced him. You know, I remember when I ran third with Test Mystery. He drove Palomar. He ran second. I ran third. But you know, Michael and I, we used to go around nearly every week together, and you know, he was a great competitor. You know, I always remember Michael. He used to drop his leg a little bit in the run, and I remember he used to ride on his dust sheet. I must not drop my leg. Yeah, but he was. You know, but you know, we were there. You know, Harold Park was. You know, we were there every week. You know, for a lot of years, and you know, become. You know, you're competitors, but you know, you become. You know, good friends with these people, and you know, Michael and Joe are gone, but. You know, to win their race, it's pretty special.
It certainly is, and you've done another special job with Max. He's done another very special job, and Will Rickson, well, it's becoming a very lethal combination.
Yeah, and old mate used to tell me a good horse despite the efforts as a trainer and driver. But no, he's a cracker. You know, he's just a pleasure to train. He's a beauty. So yeah, he'll be missed when he goes.
Where does he fit in now in the scheme of things as far as your career is concerned with the top horses you've trained?
Yeah, well, you know, Lenny and probably Hector up there as far as being like top of the, you know, top of the tree, where Max is just this workman, like does his job, got good manners, puts himself to the race, follows speed, and he competes. You know, he tries so hard. You know, where Lenny could do like 3 or 4 runs in a race and still win, but. This horse he just keeps going, and he's getting. You know, I really do think the last 12 months is, apart from his like 3-year-old year, has been his best year.
Well, Dave, congratulations once again. Hopefully there'll be many more wins to come for both you and Max.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, thanks. Thank you.